Hello, good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So, okay. So kindly type your name and where you are listening from. Where are you listening from? So type in your name and where you are listening from. Kindly give a like to. If you just joined the stream, kindly give a like to the stream. Click on the thumbs up button by giving a like to the stream. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly do well and subscribe. And kindly share the link to your colleagues, your friends, and family members who are struggling to find out how trading works. You can share the link to your friends. So, Glenn, how are you doing? Okay, so you're having Jerry McLeod. Jerry, how are you doing? So, you are all Ghanaians, fellow Ghanaians. You're all Ghanaians. So, you kindly type in your name and where you are listening from, so that when I see you in town, I'll be able to call you by not saying I'll be able to call you by your name. So kindly type in your name and where you are listening from. So if you are joining the stream, kindly give a like, click on the thumbs up button. And you guys should share the link to, if you're having a group, you can share the link to your group, those in your group. I know some people are struggling. I got to know trading by getting a link in a group. I got to know trading by a link that was shared in a group. So I think it's good when you share the channel link in your various groups that you join to. I think it's a good way to go. So you have an Isaac from Spentex. Isaac, you're welcome. So you're all Ghanaians. Are you not having any other countries here? Do you have Kenya? Do you have Nigeria? Do you have US? Do you have, so kindly show up. Okay, don't hide behind the scenes. Kindly show up. All right. So I just missed one opportunity this morning, and it's really. You see, sometimes, Charlie, the thing is even breaking. Sometimes going by your rules too sometimes hits. Okay, but you see, I have specific time based on my data. I have a specific time that, okay, you're having Sahid, Nigeria. Sahid, you are welcome. All right, you're having Sahid in the house. All right. Sahid in the house. So I just missed an opportunity this morning on USD card. So I think this week USD card. So I've taken two trades so far this week, and I don't know whether to change to be a scalper or what. All the trades came into. This trade never got my target. I took one trade, a buy over here, never got my target. It just retraced and came. I got more than one to five. Yeah, one is to 1.5, and the trade came into my break even. I was expecting it to get to this target, but the trade came into my break even. And I took one trade to over here. This sell to, I took it, and the market was there doing shakara, and it just came into my break even. And this trade, I was expecting it to take it during the pre-lending session, but it just fly and what broke the ceiling. So it's very simple. So you see, if you watch this setup and this setup are all the same thing, you get it. If you watch this one and this one, they are all the same setup. Yeah, so I was expecting to take this one, but what happened is what it has moved before the time that I have specific time that I mostly take trades. I don't take trades randomly on the chart. I have specific time. Okay. Based on the experience or based from my data, I'm having a specific time that I have to be taking trades. I don't have to be taking trades randomly. So far I've taken two trades. So I think one of the trades because of from my experience, I noticed that the market these days doesn't trend like what we used to see last year. So I took some profits. I think over here, I opened many positions and I got some small. I noticed that Charlie, I don't have to wait for the thing to. Especially one thing that pained me was this trade. This trade really, really moved, and I was in massive. I nearly. It was Tuesday too that I can even request for payout. This thing really paid me. It pained me. I was pissed off. But it was expecting just for it to get to the target. It's left with some small moves for the team to get to the target. Just small move for the team to get to the target. All my positions were exposed. If I knew, I would have even closed the trade, but that's not the best way. All my positions were I just broke even and I allowed all the trade to run, and it just came straight to my heart, just came and stopped me out. So it just went move small, nearly to the target. Yeah, it was nearly few pips to the target, few pips, like 6 pips to the target, and the thing started retracing. Oh, I nearly cried because I was about to request for payouts, and the thing came to my break-even point. But that's okay. And the next trade that I took this week too was USD card. I've taken 2 trades so far this week. They are all USD card trades, and this one too, I took a sell over here on this trade. But the reason why even this trade, I was very, very defensive on this trade is because of I knew most of the time, when from my experience, when we are going to be having what do you call it, when we are going to be having FOMC, mostly the market consolidates. So I was very, very defensive on this trade because I know what slow market movement can do. So what I did is what I was very, very defensive on this trade. Yeah, so I took the trade on the 30-minute time frame. I was very defensive on this trade. Yeah, I took it when it broke. I took it at the break of this one. I think I took it at the H1 time frame. Yeah, I took it around this side. When I saw the flip or so, yeah, I took it around this side. So I was very defensive. The market was kind of not moving. It will move small, then come back. I know sometimes from experience, if a trade is not going to go well, you feel it. Okay, so sometimes it is not all about respecting rules. Sometimes if you trade for a very long time, and if you trade for a very long time, you can easily know that this trade is not going to go well, and you just close it, either protect. So mostly what I love is what I just break even. I knew this trade is not going to go well because I was in this trade when I was experiencing this deep drawdown. Okay, so when the market started giving me a lot of bottom wicks, I noticed that we're having exhaustion in the market. Okay, so I just broke even. I brought my stop loss to entry level, just broke even, and the trade just decided to just do a yeah. So sometimes you feel it. Based from experience, you just feel it. So the target was around this side here. Okay. But from experience, I noticed that this trade is not going to go well. The way it has been consolidating. This one to a few pips to the target, and it just came to break even. So this one I just break even very fast. So one of the trades I took some small profits, and the market hasn't been. Last week I got one trade that hit my target, but this week has been small pips to the target, then it will come back to break even. Small pips to the target, and it will come back to break even. Yeah, so that's what I've been experiencing. But this morning, this was a trade I was about to take early morning, and just moved around 5 o'clock. That's not my trading time. I was even expecting this one would just make a pullback to this level. Then around 6 a.m. I would take it, but I just moved straight to the target. I don't know what is happening in the US or wow, Charlie, the thing is still pumping. All right, so let's move straight to the chart. Let's see the economic calendar. So if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. If you are facing any difficulty, kindly drop it in the chat box. So let me give you a secret hack in becoming good at trading. Becoming good at trading doesn't come a day. It becomes you become good at trading when you do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. That is when you become good at trading. Okay, that is when you become good at trading. So you need to practice. It should be something that you are practicing it every day. So for me, this morning I waked up around 3 a.m. I was just practicing my moves that has been happening. That's why it makes me confident. Okay, that's why it makes me confident. I've been practicing the same move. I just watch it. The same move, watching the same move over and over and over again. That is why you become good at trading. So your winning trades that you've taken. So this trade that I've taken, you see what I've done over here. I'm just giving you a hack on becoming good at trading, because one thing you need to understand about trading is what this thing that has happened over here is going to repeat again. You see, it's the same thing that happened over here. So if you don't watch it, you can't recognize them. Okay, so you just have to. That is when it is kind of it hurts when you are doing things randomly. If you become systematic and you keep on repeating the same thing, your winning trades, keep on refining your winning trades, it becomes. So you see this one, if I didn't study this one, I wouldn't have even recognized this one. You get it? You see the same thing over here. So you need to keep on watching your winning trades. If you keep on watching, keep on watching, and if you don't have a system yet, you need to take advantage of the upcoming bootcamp. Definitely you need to take advantage. I don't know what some people are waiting for. Okay, I don't know what some people are waiting for. I'm good at what I do. You get it? So I'm going to, and if you have already taken the bootcamp before and yes, though you are not seeing results, like you are kind of struggling, I think you can still join again. Okay, but with you, I think I will consider you. If you have joined before, you can still join. Okay, I think that is when you are even going to get more questions to ask, because you've gone out. It's like being a student and you've passed out. So you've gone to the world, you've seen how the world works. So if you come back to school again, you know how to play your cards. If you are expected to take your studies seriously, that is when you are going to take it seriously. Courses that you are not going to be taking, that is when you know that, oh, this course, when it comes to the outside world, it doesn't have any what do you call it? It doesn't have demand. So you are not going to go for that course. You get it? So if I've already taken the course before, the program, the training before, and yes, still you are not seeing results, I think it is time for you can join again. Okay, but it will be given to you at a discounted price. This thing that I'm teaching you really works. Okay, you guys have been seeing me. Some people might be thinking I'm just doing random things. I just know what works. Okay, my students, those who have taken what I teach seriously, can attest to that too as well. Yeah, so let's move to the chat and see. So those who are ready to join, kindly message me. The upcoming bootcamp, kindly message me. 64458. So kindly WhatsApp me. Okay, kindly WhatsApp me. Book your seat for the upcoming bootcamp, and it's going to be fire. All right. So today we are going to be having interest rates on the pound. Bank of England monitoring policy report. So one high volatile news that I like witnessing or watching is this news. It's moved massively. Okay, and if you are trying to gamble your money on this one, the chances that the trade mostly plays out is what you just do your buy stop and sell stop, and it mostly plays out. It moves in your favor. It moves massively when it comes to interest rates on the pound. I've witnessed it several times, or I've seen it several times, and I've noticed that it plays out a lot. Okay, it plays out a lot when it comes to this news event. So 11 a.m. everyone should just be on the chat, and I don't know why they've added 2 to that. Let me restart my economic calendar. think my timing is. Let me refresh the date again. Yeah, so 11:02 a.m. GMT. So you convert it to your local time if I'm not in Ghana. So this news event is kind of like crazy. The movement, the pip value you are going to be seeing is crazy. You get it? It's crazy. I think I remember some time ago, when I was doing one on one with someone, we traded it live. I traded it live with a person. It moved heavily in our favor. So you have to be watching this one, okay, and see how it moves. And you are going to be having unemployment claims too. So yesterday was an interest rate on the dollar. That was FOMC. I didn't even watch what was going on. I don't know whether they cut rate or they kept the rate the same. I think they kept the rate the same. Yeah. So they kept the rate the same. They kept the rate the same. So that's why. So yesterday, if you notice, yeah, gold was kind of ranging a lot. Okay. The reason why it was ranging was because of the interest rates release. So a lot of investors are kind of waiting for the news to be released. So yeah, that's what we are going to be having today. And at the same time, we are going to be having unemployment claims. So let's try and interpret this unemployment claim. So they are expecting 231. The previous one was 241. So what we are expecting is what? We are expecting unemployment to be very low. Okay, unemployment claims to be very low. So if unemployment claims is very low, as based on the data or based on the numbers given over here, if unemployment claims is very low, what you're expecting is what you're expecting the dollar to be very strong at this point, because unemployment in a country or in an economy is not a good thing. Okay, investors, people who invest in a country really what do research. They don't just wake up randomly and just be investing. Okay, they just do their research. They follow the economic trend. They follow the economic activities happening in the economy before they will start. So that's why when the tariffs start hitting people, the dollar will start becoming very weak. Okay, because of the uncertainties most of the times those things brings. Okay, when there was a war, you see the currency kind of depreciating. Any bad thing that happens in the economy, the currency start depreciating. Okay, so investors really do research. They really watch what is happening before anyone will start investing. So it's the same thing in what trying to make decisions. You need to check all these economic data and see what is happening. So we're expecting the dollar to be very strong during the New York session based on this data given. But one thing you need to understand, as I always say, this one is just, it is not certain, or it is not guaranteed that this is what is going to play. This is what, based on analyst research, or based on the data gathered, or based on the previous performance, this is what they are expecting. Okay, based on what is happening, like the CPI, they gathered data for the release of the CPI, the retail sales, and they came out and realized that unemployment is going to be very low at this point, based on what? Based on the data gathered, the PMI. Okay, the PMI, the surveys that they mostly do, that is what brings about this forecast numbers. But one thing you need to understand, these forecast numbers are not reality, or they are not what is what. These numbers are just speculation. So that's what you need to understand. So they are expecting unemployment claims to be very low. So what is going to happen is what the dollar is going to be stronger at this point, since unemployment is very weak. Yeah, so let's see what happened when you were asleep. So this the Fed chair, the Powell, if a large increases in tariffs as announced are sustained, we'll see higher inflations. Yeah, so they're expecting this. This is view on Trump's tariff. So if it increases, they're expecting inflation to. So the reason why inflation is going to increase at this point, you see, most of the times when tariffs happen, guys, try and like and share supporting both. Yeah, thank you, Ofariwa. Yeah, so one thing about tariff is what it mostly increases what the cost of goods and services. It's mostly what add up charges on goods or the product that's being imported in the country. You get, imagine maybe people, maybe those importing things from China, it's going to cost you a lot before you bring something into the US. What is going to happen is what, since the person wants profit, it's a business that is running and he wants profit on whatever he's going to sell. What is going to happen? He will also try to put something on the product that he is buying. So what is going to be happening is what, prices of the goods are going to increase, which is going to result in what? Inflation. Okay, so that's what the Fed chair or Powell is trying to say. So if inflation is going to increase, if Trump keeps on imposing high taxes on these goods, what is going to happen is what? The products are going to, the costs in acquiring those products are going to what? Spike, or they are going to increases. So that's what is happening. Yeah, so let's do technical analysis. So you have to understand, if you want to be a trader, if you want to be good at what you do, you need to understand the fundamentals, to some basic economics, that you don't have to just be economic messiah like what's the name of the father of economics? Who can just remind me of father economics? Is it Abraham Lincoln or what? He's the father of economics. Let me check. Father of economics. Is it Abraham Lincoln? Adam Smith, father of economics. Okay, Adam Smith. You don't have to be Adam Smith before you try to understand this. Just demand and supply. You understand the basic major economic news or events like GDP, what do you call it? CPI or inflation, the retail sales. These basic stuff you need to understand to be able to interpret this economic data. So let's move to the technical, and you need to be good too at the technical analysis too as well. So it all takes time. So let's check gold and see what is happening on gold. So mostly I look at the charts at the bigger view. Okay. So let's first of all, so the monthly, there's no data. So trading is like being a lotto forecaster. You need to look at the past numbers that played out, or the past numbers that was released before you be able to. So we and the lotto forecasters are the same. You look at the past data to be able to make an informed decision. So it's the same thing in trading. So in trading too, you look back, you look at the history to make an informed decision. You can't just look at the present. You are not going to get any present data to make decisions. You use what has happened in the past, because most of the time speculators, as we mostly rely on the past data. We mostly make decisions based on what has happened in the past. Okay, so the same thing in trading. So that's human psychology. Human reactions are just the same thing every day. Every day when you wake up in the morning, brushing your teeth is not something like, you don't need a pastor or a prophet to prophesy in your life that you are going to brush your teeth early morning. It's a norm. It's part of you. It's a lifestyle. Okay. So it's the same thing when it comes to analyzing the chart. So you need to look at your past history to be able to make decisions. So there was no data to your left. Looking at the current market price, there was no data to our left. So let's move to the weekly time frame. So with the weekly time frame, I think you're having data over here. If you look at this one, there was this level over here that its price is mostly going to react on this level. Most of the times there was reaction. So the reaction is not necessarily price is going to reverse. Sometimes it can break out or it can reverse. So you need to take note of that. So this is gold analysis that we are doing. Let's see. Then I will break down the trade that I'm expecting it to take. So at the daily time frame, so let's look at the daily time frame. So you need to ask yourself, what's the direction of the market? As I always say, the market is like a language. You need to understand how to read. So what's the direction? What's your daily bias? Okay, so what's the direction of the market at the daily time frame? At this point, the daily time frame direction is what? It's an uptrend. So this is where we had a change in what? There was a change in trend over here. Okay, so at this point, price is what? An uptrend at this point. So you see, it is currently reacting on the level that we had at the weekly time frame. You see, price is kind of react. So this is where, when you are in a trade, maybe you took a sell and price has gotten to this side. Don't just be there and tell yourself price is going to move, because your risk reward is like 1 to 10, 1 to 3. So you are just in the trade. This is not a logical decision you are going to be making at this point. So what you have to do at this point is what? Just wait. You just break even or take profit and allow price to break. If it breaks and close, then you make another decision again. Okay, because you are not the market maker. So at this point, the daily time frame is an uptrend, and price has gotten to this reactional level. Okay, this key level or a support level. So what you are going to be expecting is what? You're expecting most of the times the chances that price will bounce off over here is very high. But I'm having two things in mind over here. Either price is going to what? Break, or what? reverse. But I'm not going to just be like as enforcing things over here to happen. I'll allow the market to just do whatever it's going to do for me to react. So if it breaks, that's when maybe I'll be looking for sell. If it is bouncing over here and it gives me an indication that it's going to bounce, that's why we look for entries. So setups is different from entries. You get it. Sometimes this one is what a perfect buy setup, but that doesn't guarantee me that I have to take it. You have to look for entries. So entries is when you are going to what bring other confluences together to make the decision. So the daily is what an uptrend. Let's look at the H4 time frame. So what's the H4 time frame direction? Where can I get African powers for the market? Go to Benin. If you want African powers, go to Benin. That's when you're going to hack the market. You don't need powers to hack the market. If you don't need powers to hack the market, you don't need prayers to hack the market. What you need is knowledge. That's why you need to enroll in the upcoming Forex workshop. So you guys are not giving a like to the stream. You are not liking the stream. Kindly click on the thumbs up button, like the stream, share. So looking at the H4 time frame at this point, the trend is what? It's still what? It's still an uptrend. Daily is an uptrend. H4 is an uptrend. Okay, in the sense that this is just a complex structure, and the rules that's with the rules with the rules I highlight this before it will break. But at this point, it is just making highs and lows. So this point, it is just making a complex structure. It's still an uptrend at this point. Okay, it's still an uptrend. So let's say if the market has done something like this, that is when you can conclude that it is a downtrend. So at this point, it's still an uptrend. Okay, so prices at this point. So this is where maybe I'll be looking for an entry. You see, it aligns with the H4 area of interest. So as price has gotten to here, this is where we are going to be looking for an entry, a buy entry. So we need to wait for a shift in trend, okay, to confirm. Because if you look at the lower time frame, looking at your high time frames, they are all pointing up. H daily is pointing up, the direction is up, H4 is up. And when you come to the lower time frame, you see the lower time frame, the 50-minute time frame. So look at GJ, please. What's your views? Yeah, so GJ, I think GJ moved during the Asian session. I'll check it out for you. Yeah, so looking at gold at this point, you need to wait for a shift in trend. The H4, the M15 is what? A downtrend. So we have to look for something like this, a change. Some people will call it a change in character, or a change. It's the same thing as a change in trend. So you need to, the trend at this point is what? An uptrend. So wait for a shift in trend to confirm to you that what? The trend at this point is turning to what? An uptrend before you take a trade. When you are taking, so one mistake a lot of people do, that's why they get a lot of stop out, is what? When you are taking a buy and the candles are giving you red candles, and you keep on taking the buy, what's the reason behind that? What's the reason behind that? So wait for a shift in trend. The M30 is what? A downtrend. M15 is what? A downtrend. H12 is what? A downtrend. Why do you want to take a buy? Wait for a shift in trend in these lower time frames. Okay, then you go in for a buy. So I'm just going for a buy at this point based on what my higher time frame is telling me. I'm going to be looking for a buy. This is a setup, a buy setup, but there was no confirmation for what? A buy. You get it? That's what it needs to what? You need to soak it in your mind. If your high time frames is giving you a direction, that doesn't mean you have to take it quick. Coach from Kenya, learning with you. Yeah, you are welcome. Yeah, so you need to wait for a shift in trend before you go. So for gold, I'm looking for a buy. There was no confirmation. I need to look for a shift in trend. Okay, that's why some people will say W pattern, M pattern, or V pattern. I'm based on logic. The logic is a change in character or a change in trend before I'm going forward a buy. So that's what I'm looking for. And let's consider the levels too as well. If you look at this level, where did we get this level? The weekly time frame. And you see it aligns perfectly with what? It aligns perfectly with the H4 time frames too as well. Okay, so we have another level over here. There was another level over here at the daily time frame. You get it? There was another level and there was another level to over here. So the reason why I'm still indicating these levels is what? Price has not closed. If the candle hasn't closed, you can't make a decision. You get it? You can't conclude that the pullback, this level has been invalidated. So that's why you need to understand valid and invalid support and resistance level. So these levels are valid because the candle hasn't closed. If the candle decides to, this is the daily time frame, and you are going to know, or you are going to decide whether it's valid or invalid when the candle has closed. So by the end of the day, that's when you are going to know that this level is valid or invalid. But this, since it is still ongoing and it is the daily time frame, is still valid. So looking at the H4 time frame, yeah, so this is where the zone is going to be very choked. Okay, so this is a strong level. This is a strong level at this point because the H4 and the daily are all aligning at this point. Okay, so don't be quick to take a buy. For me, I'll wait for confirmation before I will take a buy. Don't be the first. There was no reward in being the first to enter a trade. There was no reward in that. Okay, so wait for confirmation. So I remember those times when I used to trade Elliott wave. You don't wait for confirmation. The moment you see, oh, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, we expect that a massive move, then we take. And what you are going to do is what? You are going to take the entry over here. We take the entry over here, we place our stop loss over here. You get it? We place our stop loss below a structure level, thinking that if it breaks and close, that's when structure is going to be invalid. But you need to wait for internal wave. What do you call it? You need to wait for internal shift in trend. You get it? You need to wait for a shift in trend. So I'm not going to be fast in entering a buy over here. And for gold too, I don't even like the movement of gold, so I'm just even heading over here. So those gold lovers can take note of that. Yeah, so USD card trade has already been missed. Okay, so USD card, I was expecting price to pull back. When the candle was closing, this is what I was expecting it to happen. So you see, this trade is the same trade I took on, was it Tuesday? I took this same trade on Tuesday over here. So I took it over here. So what I was expecting this trade is what? I was expecting a pullback at the lower time frame. Where did it happen? Yeah. I was expecting a pullback, which is going to, because timing is very important when it comes to trading. So I was expecting a pullback, for price to pull back over here. Okay, during the maybe pre-lending session, when the price pulls back over here, then I'll wait for confirmation and take, this is going to be my target. But what happens is what? Sometimes you can, having a rule, sometimes you'll be missing a trade and other stuff, but it's part of the game. So I just missed. What I'm going to do from this trade is what? I'll just go and sit when the market closes. I'll just go and learn from the trade because I understand that it's going to repeat itself again. That's how the market happens. It's just a repetition of pattern. So don't be worried on every day learning new things. You are just wasting your time. Learn what works, stick to that, be perfect, be good, be able to recognize them, memorize them, visualize them, because they are going to happen again. You see, this pattern, if I show you, it has happened a lot of time. When you flip it, you're going to see that it has happened a lot of time. Okay, so trading is all about, the moment I understood that trading is all about pattern recognition, I stopped wasting my time on a lot of learning a lot of new things. I just went back to my archives, look at the trades that I've taken, started repeating the trades that I've taken. That's all. That's when it all clicked. Okay, so this week I've taken 2 trades. They all went in my favor. Because anytime I would take a trade, I would just reflect on, has this thing happened before? Have I seen it before? You get it? Yeah. So let's look at NZD card. So USD card has already been missed. Oh, NZD card has also been missed. I was expecting price to maybe bounce off from this level. So when it hasn't gotten to this level, what I was expecting it to happen is what? Maybe to get a resistance over here. That was what I was expecting it to happen. You get it? So you just know your, it's very simple. Just know your directional bias. If you know your directional bias, okay, from the higher time. But one thing I'm going to be telling you, if you are focused on volatile instruments like commodities, okay, commodities like gold, silver, then those things, oil, and those things, you can just focus on the H4 without blending the daily. But okay, or maybe if you are trading indices, you can just focus on the H4 time frame. But if you are trading currencies, it is better if you blend the two together It's much safer. It gives you more high probability than focusing solely on what the H4 time frame. So with currencies, I am mostly comfortable when I'm blending the two together. I'm most of the time comfortable when I'm blending the two together. So this is what I was expecting it to happen, but I don't know. We're having a lot of volume this morning. It just reminds me of last year what we used to see. Lending session hasn't even opened and we are seeing a lot of volume this morning. So I was expecting maybe something of this sort to happen. Then after 9 o'clock, I'll just take the continuation. Okay, like what happened on Euro AUD the other time. That was what I was expecting it to happen. Euro AUD. You see this Euro AUD trade? I took Euro AUD trade. That was last week. You get it? So this is what I was expecting it to happen, something of this sort. Then I'll look for confirmations at the lower time frame. Yeah, so this is where I took the trade. Then I'll look for confirmation at the lower time frame, but I think it has been missed. Okay, but all the same. So you see, it's very simple. Is there a repeated pattern that I keep on doing it? Okay, that's how the dollars are being printed. It's not anything magic. Just repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's the same thing. So yeah, NZD card 2 has already. So I was having two currency pairs on top of my watch list this morning. USD card, I was expecting something of this to move. NZD card, I was expecting price to just maybe consolidate or accumulate over here for some time. Then when the 9 o'clock candle close, H4 close, then I'll take an entry. Because one thing you need to understand, always my focus, I mostly take decisions when the H4 is giving me confirmation. That's when I take my decisions. But at the moment, it's kind of just fuck up and just so let's check GBPJ. So GBPJPY, you see the pattern that I was talking about? You see the same pattern over here. But this one happened during the Asian session, so it's also a mystery. So at this point, what I'm waiting for, okay, so I think there was a breakout over here, a continuation of the trend to this side. Let me look at the higher time frame since. But one thing is, well, when it comes to GBPJPY, the daily time frame is a downtrend. Yeah, so we have a continuation to this level. Okay, we have a continuation to this level, and the H4 candle has broke below. So I think they still have a chances of a buy this thing. Yeah, but yeah, there's still chances of playing out the buy playing out because this level has been invalidated. So we're expecting a continuation of the trend to this side. Yeah, so there was a buy opportunity over here. So at this point, this is where the stop loss is going to be. Yeah, so I'm expecting price to head to this side. But price has moved. I don't know who the person who said I should analyze GBPJPY took the trade. Price has moved. So if you can get a retracement, I think I can go in for a buy. I need price to maybe come back. I need price to come to this level. At this point, price is kind of very high. But one thing is what the daily time frame, that's what I don't like. The daily time frame trend is a downtrend. Because mostly with my currencies, I'm mostly comfortable when the daily and H4 are in the same direction. Good morning, Brainy. How are you doing? Yeah, but if you are focusing solely on the H4, then I'm expecting it to move to the side. So I'm not going to be taking this trade because it doesn't align with my plan because the daily is a downtrend. But if you are focusing solely on H4, then if it were to be the daily and H4 in the same direction, I would have taken. But price 2 is it has moved from the level. You get so the reason why it is not advisable, like the reason why taking this trade is because price has moved from the area of interest. You see the level, and if price is coming down, you are going to be in deep drawdown. Okay, like 18 pips. If if we're taking trade which is close to this level, your drawdown is not going to be very big. You get it? Your drawdown is not going to be big. Yeah, so you need to take trades that you are comfortable. So I don't rely, when it comes to currency, I don't rely solely on H4. So I'm not going to take it. But we using the H4 for our analysis, you expect. So this one is going to be like counter trend for me at the H4 time frame. At the daily time frame, it's going to be a counter. But it's a clean, you're having a clean zone to our left. Okay, a clean zone to our left. So let's see how it's going to go. Yeah, let's see how it goes on. But I'm not. So as I've explained, if the daily, so this trade is the same trade I took on GBP USD some time ago. It's the same breakout trade I took. Okay, it was the same trade I took on GBP USD some time ago. That was where did I? The trade that led me to the Asian session. But with that one, the daily and the H4 was in the same direction. I think it's this trade also. So sometimes making reference gives you more confidence on the trade you are taking. I took some one trade. Was it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, this trade. So this one too was the same breakout trade I took. Was it this trade? Yeah, unless let me check my this thing. I think I sent it in this. Yeah, I've forgotten the trade I took. So you see, sometimes you have to like refer, go back and see if you have taken the same trade before. It was this trade also. Yes, forgotten the time. But with that one, the daily and H4 was in the same direction. That's why I took the trade. But with this one, with GJ, but I'm having a high hope that it's going to move to that, but I'm not going to take it because it doesn't align with my trading plan. I'm expecting it to move to this side, but just keep on watching. Yeah, so that is GJ. So let's move to the other one. Let's check GBP USD and see what's happening. Yeah, so with GBP USD, looking at the monthly time frame, the monthly time frame is what? So the reason I'm saying like I have to follow my plan is what sometimes if you do things randomly and you are going back to your data to review your data, it becomes confusing because today you did something different from your trading plan. So if you keep on doing different things, why were you having a trading plan? Okay, because trading plan is like it is a manual. Okay, maybe if you went and bought a product and the manual is telling you that you have to plug it before you do this thing, and you are also plugging the thing, you are putting it in fire, you are going to spoil the thing. You get, so mostly we create trading plan for it to be a guide for us, for it to guide us. So if you are a trader and you are not having a manual, if you are not having a playbook, if you are not having something that guides you, you are just doing things wrongly. So you need to have a plan that you are just going to watch it like this. So it's going to be like the way Christians are having Bible, the Muslims are having Quran, something that guides their path. In case maybe they are deviating, they go back and reflect, oh, maybe Jesus Christ said we should do this. Muhammad said, or the Quran said we should do this. You get it? Even with the traditionalists, we are also having what? They have a manual. You don't have to steal, okay? Those times, if you steal, you are going to be killed or you are going to... So same thing in trading. You need to have a manual, something that is going to guide you so that when you lose a trade, you can easily reflect on what you did wrong. Oh, maybe this I did this. Today, that is when you are going to know that, oh, maybe it was just a market condition. Okay, because you have taken the same thing over and over again. And the moment you deviate and do something differently, that is when you start regretting. I should have followed my plan. My plan was saying this thing, but you were greedy. You wanted to make the money fast. Today you wanted to make the money to just take your babe out. You wanted to take your babe out, so you just force things to happen. Okay, that is why it is important to me to have a playbook. Okay, a playbook is a manual. It is a guide that is going to guide your path. Okay, so if you have not created a playbook yet, you need to create one for yourself. So all the trades that I've taken are the same trades every day. All the trades that I've taken are the same trades I've been keep on taking. If you check, so I gave you an example on, if you check my trades that I've been taking, I don't deviate. They are all the same trades every day. Okay, so if you watch USD card trade I took over here last Tuesday, it was the same thing that happened during the Asian session, during the pre-lending session. It's the same trade that happened over here. Most of my trades are coming from GBP card. So let's move to GBP card and see. Most of the trades that I've taken are the same. Okay, most of the trades that I've taken, if you watch this one, is the same trade. So you see what happened over here. Is it not the same thing as what is happening on GBP USD card? You see, this trade that I took over here is the same trade. So you see, that's what my manual is telling me. And I created a manual based on my performance. Okay, so trading is a systematic it is a systematic game you are playing. If you come into the game and you start doing things randomly, that is when the moment you see any forex post on the internet, you go and comment, this thing, it doesn't work, I've lost a lot of money. You go and comment fast. So it's been a while. Let me tell you the fact. It's been a while I took a loss. The whole of last month, Brainy can attest to that have you taken a loss? I mostly take my trades with Brainy. You've not taken a loss. I remember it was April that we took. Yeah, it was April that we took. But for the whole of it was March that I took 1 or 2 losses. That one I didn't follow my plan. And even Brainy told me about it. That was the last loss I've taken. The whole of May, I didn't experience any loss. The whole of it started April. I've not experienced any loss. So some people will say, oh, maybe you just post your results. The moment I see this currency pair is not giving me the result, it keeps on giving. That's why I even take out gold from my listing, because gold will give it to you today. Tomorrow it will take their profit again. So that's why I even stopped trading gold again. I just analyze, but I don't take it, because gold is kind of shakara. It will do you shakara. Yeah. So because I'm doing the same thing. Okay, so this trade I took here, it's the same. The moment I see the pattern, then I take it. So I don't want to deviate from my plan. That is what is going to bring you the results you want. Okay, that's what you want to bring you the results you want. Yeah, so that's what Bernie is saying. You can't remember the last time you took a loss. Yeah, you don't take a loss. So sometimes I post my result, people say, oh, this guy is just doing buy and sell, the one that will goes in favor, then you post. Nah, I don't do that. I don't do that. I will never waste my time doing that thing. If you do that, you are deceiving yourself. Why will I do that? You know you are not good at what you do, and you just you take buy and sell trades, the one that will go in your favor, then you post. I don't do that thing. Yeah, so let's check. So the reason why I'm not taking GJ is because the daily time frame is kind of a downtrend to me. Because if you change it to a line chart, you will notice that the daily time frame is a downtrend. You get it? The daily time frame is a downtrend. So the H4, I don't rely solely on H4 time frame. I blend it together. I have to make sure they are all in the same direction before I'll take the trade. If they are all in the same direction, I would have taken this buy quick. Okay, I would have taken the buy quick, but I will not take it because they are not in the same direction. Yeah, so let's check the major ones and see if you are going to be getting opportunity. So the trade I wanted to take with you, the NZD card and USD card just moved. It's been a while I even took a trade. That was the last time we took a trade on the stream was gold. Apart from that, it's been a while I took a trade with you guys. It's because the market is not giving the opportunities I want. It's not giving the setup I want. So with GBP USD, the monthly time frame, these are the various levels. So looking at the weekly time frame, this is the various reactional levels over here. So the daily time frame is kind of, you're having this level 2 over here at the daily time frame. So after identifying your reactional levels, that's when you ask yourself the direction. Where is the market heading to? What is the direction of the market? So you change it to the skeletal frame. You can see it's very clear, the lines. So it's also principle. How to read the market too is also principle that you need to understand. Okay, so you notice that it is a downtrend at this point. Okay, how to read the market too is also principle you need to follow. So at this point, it's a downtrend. So I have to make sure 2 time frames are in the same direction. So looking at the H4 time frame, so you see this one, what does it tell you? You see this one just tested this one exactly. So daily is a downtrend, H4 is what? An uptrend at this point, because the rules say that this one is what? This one is just an uptrend, because the higher highs hasn't been broken. It just made something like this. The higher highs hasn't been broken. You get it? But the rule says you should make higher high before it will break. If it breaks the higher low, that is when it will turn to what? A downtrend. So at this point, it's still what? An uptrend based on the rules. Okay, so the daily is a downtrend, H4 is an uptrend. So where I'm going to be taking a trade on USD CHF is what? When I see a shift in trend. So this is where we are going to see a shift in trend. When the candle breaks below this one, when the candle close below this one, that is when we make a decision. Taking random trades because your account size is very small. If you are trading $1 million account, if you are trading like 5 people, because if you lose, you are going to lose heavily. But because a lot of you are trading 0.1, 0. Like you lose $5, you lose $10. So mostly it doesn't hurt you much. But if you trade account size, bigger account size, that your drawdown is going to be like 200,000, 20,000, 5,000. You are going to be very careful on the decisions to take. You are going to think deep before you take a trade. By a lot of you. So me for instance, mostly when I'm trading small accounts, I just do, sometimes some of the trade is not aligned. I'll just say, oh, let me give it a try and see what's going to happen. Then I'll just take it. But if you are trading bigger accounts, you're going to be very disciplined. That's when the discipline counts, because you know the consequence of the loss. So you become very careful. We are not seeing you anything, please. What does it? You are not seeing the chat. Maybe it might be your network. Yeah, maybe it might be your network. Is it the only one facing that problem? Or you guys are all not seeing the chat? Yeah, so with USD CHF, what I'm expecting is what? Are you all not seeing the chat? Or he's the only one who is not seeing the chat? Yeah, so with USD CHF, what I'm expecting is what? I want price to break below. That is when you are going to see a shift in trend. Then I'll take the continuation of the trend. Okay, so maybe please just stick. You have to join this thing again. You need to join again. Yeah, so what I'm expecting USD CHF to GBP USD to do at this point is, if I want to take a sell, then I have to patiently wait. You get it? So sometimes one thing is that I can give you everything, but you won't be disciplined to obey the rules. Okay, you won't be disciplined. Especially those times I used to face difficulty when waiting for candles to close, because I was thinking I'm going to miss the trade when I wait for a candle to close. So sometimes I can give you everything, but you still lose, because you are not going to be patient to wait for trade to happen. So with GBP US, what I'm expecting is what? I'm going to make my decision when the candle closes. So when the candle closes below, that is when the candle closes below like this, then I will be looking for a pullback. Okay, because this is the first break of the trend. So when it breaks, then I'll wait for a pullback. Then I'll take the point. I'll look for clean zones. So if you look your left, you're having the higher time frame reactional levels over here. Okay, the high time frame reactional level. So maybe if it breaks below, then I'll take advantage of this one. But it's going to take time. That's when the patience comes in. Okay, that's when the patience comes in. So I'm going to wait for price to come to this level. Then I'll look for a sell. Okay, price to break below this one, because if price even breaks below this one, looking at the zone, it's kind of very small. Okay, so don't undermine these levels that I draw. They are very, very powerful. And then most of the time when price gets to those levels, the chances that it's good, and then I'll just attend to that. In case you have any questions too, you can just drop it in the chat box. And to those who want to join the workshop, please, you can just chat me or WhatsApp level. If it breaks below this one, that's when, if it breaks below this one, the zone is going to be very small. Okay, the zone is going to be it's going to be 10 pips, and 10 pips, if you take spread from 10 pips, like mostly the spread is like 2 pips. If you take 2 pips, it's like 8 pips, and the chances that price is not going to get exactly to the target and it will start reversing is very high. So you are not going to get much out of the trade. Even scalping is not going to be encouraged about this pip move. So I will not be happy taking trade over here. So what I will do is, what I will go for bigger zones. So zones like this, that's what I will be going for, like 44 pip range. That is huge. So you deduct your spread, you deduct your this thing. Maybe you take, because price most at times it doesn't get to the target exactly. So maybe you deduct your maybe 2 pips before price will get to the target. That's also fine. You take it out of it, and you are just going to be good with it. So this is the range I'll be happy taking. So if price breaks below, I will allow price to maybe make a U-turn like this. Okay, then if it creates a support, then I'll go in for the trade that you showed me the other time. What happened? The Euro NZD trade that you showed me the other time. The Euro NZD trade you showed me the other time. You see, as it got to the target, it's reversed. Yeah, this is the trade that Brenny showed me the other time, and I told him the range is very small. So it was like this. So you see, the moment price, so he was saying it is going to sell, even though it sold, but the zone is very small. You get it? The zone is very small. The zone is very small. So that is why I didn't take it. Yeah. So let me read, because I'm not seeing any opportunities. Let me see NZD I'm not seeing any trade opportunities. They are all kind of not aligned perfectly. Let me check USD card, USD CHF too. With USD CHF, let me look at the daily time frame. Let me change it to a skeletal frame. Daily time frame is an uptrend. H42 is an uptrend. But currently, it's in a range. Okay, so where I'll be happy taking a buy on, it's been a while I took a trade on USD CHF. Where I'll be happy taking a buy is what I would love price to break out from this zone. Okay, that's when I will be looking for a buy. But this in a zone, like it's in what? A reactional levels. So majority of the times, if you move to the daily time frame, you notice the various levels. Change it to line charts, you see the various levels. So I'm not going to be taking trades within this tight range. Why do you want to force things whilst trade is in the zone? What is going to happen is what? Price is going to just stop you out. So the reason a lot of your stop loss gets hit is because you buy on zones. If you are buying, you are trying to what? You are trying to buy on resistance and you sell on support. That is not what you have to do. So you have to wait for price to break so that it will just be free to move. So when price break out from this zone, that's when I'll be looking for a buy to take. You get it? That's when I'll be looking for a buy to take. So USD CHF, the trend is going to shift when this candle close. When this candle close, and it is not necessary price, I'm waiting for price to break. Sometimes when the trend shifts over here, it can just reverse over here. So mostly what I wait for is what? The reversal. If price reverse and come to this side, that is when I'll be looking for entry. So it is not like it's going to come to this side. That is my projection. That's what I'm projecting. But price can just make a U-turn over here, come to this side, then you go in for a buy. That's what I'm expecting it to happen. You get it? And that's what I'm expecting it to happen. Price to just come back to this level, then maybe it can come back to this level, or it can maybe when you're having a lot of volume in the market, it can just break out. But we are going to be having news events this month during maybe 11 a.m. So maybe you can see something of that sort. So when such news is about to hit the market, please and please again, kindly stay out. Don't gamble, okay? Don't try to bet your money unless maybe you're already in profit, you break even, so that when the market comes against you, you don't even lose any. If you have a high hope that your trade is going to run for a very long time, you can just allow it to run by protect your capital. Protection too is a skill you need to learn. Okay, you don't have to expose yourself. The most important thing, what most beginners, what they think is what profit. They don't think about the game being risky. Forex is a high risk game. If you don't have knowledge, your money is going to go like with just like few moments, your money is going to be gone. It's a high risk. It is very risky. That's why the returns is very high. So if you don't have much knowledge about how it works, you are going to lose your whole investment. So please seek knowledge before you even try to do this thing. Okay, education and experience is very important in this game. That is why I'm doing the Forex workshop, to educate you on the right things to do, the important things to focus on. You get it? The timing to trade is very important. A lot of people, and the rate timing, market timing is very important. Okay, not to buy on support, not to buy on resistances. Don't lose your family money, don't lose your life savings because you didn't get yourself educated. Get yourself educated before you even plan of what fund in your account. So at this point, what I'm waiting is I'm waiting for price to pull back on this one, then I'll go in for a buy. Okay, so I don't want to buy and sell on higher time frame support and resistance levels. So sometimes you can be having some winning trades, but one thing you need to understand, so you see what I said, price is kind of pulling back at this point. You get it? Price is kind of pulling back. If the daily and H4 are in the same direction, that is when I would love to be taking this trade. But the daily is doing different things. It's doing shakara. But that's why I didn't even take it. Okay. That's why I didn't take it. Yeah. So let's check AUDJPY. AUDJ. So sometimes the trend, if the trend is confusing, you have not seen it before, just let it go. I will not force it to happen. So no opportunity. That's how I scan for opportunities. I just scroll, check daily H4, no opportunity, then I'll flip daily H4. If I see in the same direction, then I'll just pay attention to that. Okay, so I will explain the USD card I took yesterday. I think some people, those who follow me, maybe if in case you found it difficult, I like to understand why I took that trade, I will explain it to you. So with GBP card, the daily is a downtrend, H4. Yeah, so USD card, let's analyze it because it's kind of doing what I want. So let's analyze USD card. So the monthly time frame, price is what? In an uptrend. It's in an uptrend. The weekly, we're having this level that price can just reject over here. This level over here. Another level over here. At the weekly time frame. Looking at the daily. So the daily is the trend is a downtrend at this point. Let's identify the various levels. So another level over here. So you're having another level over here. Price hasn't closed, so this is a valid level. Okay, this is a valid level. So what you want to see is for a flip of this candle, then you take advantage of this small zone. Okay, this is daily time frame. You might see it to be very, very small. But if you move to the high time frame, if you move to the lower time frame, you get to know that it is a bigger zone. So this is like 54 pips, so it's not small. So H4 is so H4 is not clean at all. H4 is not clean. So price is currently, you see how it is struggling before it will break this one. So price is currently in this zone. So I'm not interested in this trade because the zones are a lot. The zones are making, the H4 zones are making, it's making the daily zone very small. So this is like 30 pips. Okay, so do you know something? When price close, if it's up, well, if it happens, if it happens this kind of close below this one, but I'm not sure it's going to happen because interest rate is going to GBP. This is GBP card. Interest rate is just going to spoil things. It's just going to move massively and spoil the setup. So I'm not sure it's going to happen, but I would love to wait for, if this candle happens to close below this one, that is when I will look for entry. Okay, because it aligns with the H4 and the daily aligns. The H4 aligns with the daily, so that's what I would love to take a trade. I would love to take a trade over here, but at this point, it's kind of price is kind of chubby over here, so I'll not take this trade. So I'll be keeping, but I'll reanalyze it again after the news has been released. Okay, because even if the 9 o'clock candle close, I will not take a trade because you are going to be having news and the market is going to be slow. And if I take the trade, the thing is, I'm going to be in drawdown. It might happen. I'm going to be in drawdown before the news will happen. So I don't want to be doing that. Even if it's close and gives a 9 setup, 9, 10, 11, you're having like 2 hours for the news to be released. And when it is the time is close to the news to be released, it's mostly the currency at hand mostly slows down. Okay, the movement of the currency slows down. That's why yesterday gold consolidated. It started breaking out from zones when the news got released. So when it breaks below, I will just wait for the news to be released before I will just take action. Okay, yeah. So far there was no trade. They are all in zones. Yeah, so if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. But let me, they are in zones. Zones. They are in zones. You, Euro AUD is kind of, I don't like the movement. Yeah, so NZD card has already moved. USD card has already moved. Wow, USD card has would have even given me the opportunity I want today, but just moved. Yeah, so let's reanalyze. Let's reanalyze USD card, the trade I took yesterday. So why did I even take the trade yesterday? Yeah, so this was the trade. Yeah, so what made me take the trade was, if you move to the daily time frame. So the daily time frame, this was not there. So the daily time frame was a downtrend at this point. This was the direction. This was the key levels. You get it? So the daily time frame trend was what? A downtrend. So the H4 time frame, let's fast forward it. Yeah, so you see, as it got to this level exactly, that is where I found a trade. So I moved to the lower time frame. When there was a shift in trend, I took the sell. You get it? So now it is what? An uptrend. So where you are going to get the shift in trend is at this point. Yeah, so you see the body of the candle broke below. So that's where the moment it broke below, okay, I moved to 50-minute time frame because now this is just a pullback. You will notice that this one is just a pullback. So if you move to the 50-minute time frame, the moment I saw this bearish candle, that's when I took the trade. Okay, so it's kind of, this one is different from the other one, but it's almost the same thing. So that's what made me take the trade. You get it? So that's what made me take that sell. Yeah, so that's what made me take that sell. Yeah, so the opportunities has all been missed. NZD card, USD card has all been missed. I was expecting the NZD card to maybe just pull back over here, but it has all been missed. All right, so guys, if there was no question, If you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. And to the workshop, those who are interested in the upcoming, we are starting tomorrow. Okay, we are starting tomorrow. So if you have not booked your seat yet, kindly message me and book your seat. So two trades this week, in what, one break even and one that USD card trading. That USD card trade really. Good. Yeah, so my number has been. Oh, this is not my number, please. Let me delete it. Remove. So you can message me. So if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box before you move. So we are going to be having a lot of news events today during the New York session. So please kindly be cautious about it. So let's check the US. Let's check the indices and see. Nasdaq. Let's check Nasdaq. The US stock. So if they're expecting the unemployment claims to be good, the numbers to be very bad, then if it happens like that, then Nasdaq too will continue moving up. So Nasdaq has already moved, so there's no trade opportunity unless maybe we get a breakout. If we get a breakout, then we can take the continuation. Yeah, so US 32 is also in a range. Yeah, it's also in a range. The range is very choked. Yeah, it's also in the range. Yeah, so no opportunities for me. I'm not seeing any opportunities. So GBP card, what do you call it? GBP JPY rather. So you see the reason why I mostly place my stop loss below these levels. You see how price just invalidated. Imagine maybe you are using the 30-minute structure, you are easily going to be stopped out. But you see, as it got to the higher time frame level, it just bounced off from the level. So it's very important you know how to place a stop loss. Okay, it's very important you understand how to place a stop loss. Okay, all right. Very important. So as I'm saying, if not this thing, this trade would have been a nice trade. But the daily, I don't want to be random over here. GJ would have been the trade to be taken on the stream. But the condition has been taken, so this one is going to be like a counter trend. You are trading against the higher time frame, daily time frame. Okay, this one it can happen that it can slow down then during the news event. So let's try and see what the news is going to be, what they are expecting for. Okay, are they expecting rate cuts or what? So they are expecting hike in the trade, in the rate. So what is going to happen? What the pound is going to keep on moving. So they expect more hawkish than expected is good for a currency. Okay. So let's all read this one. The vote is reported in an XX format. The first number is how many MPs members voted to increase rate. The second number is how many voted to decrease rate. And the third is how many voted to hold rate. So the second is how to decrease rate. So a lot of people voted to decrease the rate, increase the rate rather. Okay. How many voted to decrease the rate? The second one. Yeah, so that means more people have voted to decrease the rate. Last time, less people voted for what? A rate hike. So at this time, more people voted to increase the rate. Okay, as compared to the other time. The other time, only one person voted to what? Decrease the rate. But this time, more people are voting to decrease rate. So if they are expecting rate cuts, then what is going to happen is what? Pound is going to weak. If they are expecting a rate cut, okay, so yeah, so they're expecting a rate cut. So that means pound. So maybe what happened is what you can get price. They can just price it in. Price will just move up before it will start moving down because the time is not it's not due yet. So if that is what they're expecting, then I'm expecting something of that sort to happen. I'm expecting that something of that sort to happen. So let me check USD JPY and see. So if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. So USD JPY is already taking the spike. So this is perfect. This is perfect breakout trade. But as I indicated, because one thing is not aligned, that is why I didn't take the trade. So you see, mostly if you check my position, I mostly add more. You see, I add more multiple positions. So this would have been the point I would have even added more positions. You get it? So mostly when it is pulling back, so that I will get a good entry. When it is pulling back on me, that is when I add more positions. That is when I add more positions. Please say which is the best broker to use. So check the link, check the description. The best broker to use is in the description box. So check it. Go to the description and you see it over there. Let me drop it to you. The best broker is XM Global. The stream is sponsored by XM Global. You get 100% bonus anytime you make a deposit. Yeah, so all this pulls back, it's going to happen because of the upcoming news. It's going to happen. So it's kind of dangerous when a news is about to be released on the currency at hand you are trading. It's kind of volume. Those who move the market are kind of reserved, so you don't get a lot of volume. It happens most of the times because of the interest rate, and interest rate is a very, very impactful news event. Interest rate is very impactful. Like it mostly affects the market massively, like significantly. So that's why you see slow movement, even though price is going to move in your direction, but you kind of see slow movement before price will start moving. I was thinking like today I'll get a trade, and I would have even taken the trade with you guys live, so that you people will not see I'm just hiding behind the cameras. And so the link has been pasted. It has been posted in the chat, so you check it out. So check it out. Yeah. So guys, if you don't have any question, I'm just hopping off. So you kindly go back to the stream again and rewatch, and I'm very sure you get value on whatever I said today. Okay. So go back to the stream and rewatch it again. That's how we learn. Don't just let it go. Go back and learn and apply it and implement it and execute. And if you are executing, don't be afraid to execute. Okay, because the market losses are part of the game. So don't be afraid to execute. If you see an opportunity that aligns, you are familiar, and mostly become confident when you have seen it happening. So if you are familiar with it, just go for it. Okay. If all the rules aligns, the timing aligns, there's no news events, you are not buying on support and resistance. If all those things aligns, just hit it. Okay. Just go for it. If all the rules, if all the things aligns perfectly, just hit it. Don't be afraid, don't be scared. Trading is for the brave. If you are weak, you can't be a trader. If you are weak, you can't be a trader. So yesterday, for instance, one trader I just risked like 3% or 4% on my account. Imagine. With the USD card, that was a USD card trade. So that's how it goes. So guys, just go in big. If you know what you are doing, go in big. Don't be scared. Scared money gets no money. If you want the big cars, the flashy cars, you can't be Brainy will say you can't be slow and be expecting it big. But you have to know what you are doing before you go in big. That's very important. If you don't know what you are doing, just keep it low. Knowledge should be your focus at the initial stage. If you get to understand, oh, this thing is working for me. Like me, for instance, this morning, the way I was ready to risk on this USD card, I was ready because it has happened over and over and over again. So I was willing to risk big, and it just moved. So if you know what you are doing and you have seen the same thing happening over and over and over again, just go in big, grow. All right, guys, I'm hopping off. I have something to do. All right, so see you. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. And if you want to join the workshop too, kindly message me and we take it from there. I will explain how to identify valid and invalid resistance and support levels, how to read the market, how to take entries. We are going to do a lot. Okay, so if you have not joined, kindly join. Okay, kindly message me. All right, so see you all. And if you have not put the channel on all notification, anytime I come live, sometimes I don't alert you people. So anytime I come live, you get the notification, or anytime I post something, you get the notification. And I know I'm impacting a lot of people's life. A lot of people's journey has been shortened because of the value I'm giving and how simple I explain trading and it works. You get a lot of people are complicating stuffs out there. Okay, but for the difficult things, I've been able to break it down for everyone to understand. So keep on following. I'll keep on bringing you a lot of value to, or maybe valuable things over here. So keep on following. All right, so see you guys same time on Monday. Bye.